What's good? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good, y'all? I'll let y'all go and come up in the room. Can you bring me the charger, love? What's going down in H-Town? No, just what's going down in all towns. What's everybody doing tonight? Figured I'd break y'all in with a little story time. Story time, my version though. You know what I'm saying? And this is what really happened. This is based off a true story, off real events. These cases are real. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, because we don't want to be doing ghetto shit. Story time. And how we met. What was it, about 11 years ago? Let me see. December 11th. Actually, yeah, to the day, to the T, 12/14 in 3 more days. I met her in 2009. And really in November, but we didn't really start like becoming official until December. Right, babe? Anyways, it's my story. Right. Yeah, so we met in high school. For anybody that doesn't know, I start off there, right? So I actually had been going to this high school the year before she got there. I had already been there a year. And so she came our senior year. And so I knew why I didn't, because I wouldn't notice her in 11th grade, but I did. But yeah, so we met in high school. Senior year, 2009, November. No, I didn't. Oh, it says live chat. Okay, I think anyways, yeah, November 2009 was when I met her. We were both seniors. And what was crazy is, so I'll tell the story, but then I'll like reconnect it. Anyways, so we met November 2009. And I had been, what was I doing to even like, anyways, so we were in high school. I said that about 30 times. And I met her basically in a poetry class, like a poetry class, like after school. Actually, before that though. So me and I rap. So if y'all don't know about I rap, but I mean, I don't have no music or nothing, but I rap. So back then, like we were practicing, me and this group that I had, me and three guys that I knew, me and 2 other guys. We used to call ourselves the Maniacs. Actually, more than two guys, but we were practicing for the talent show. And the teacher's room that we used to practice in was a hella cool teacher. She was a poetry teacher. Well, she taught English, but she did poetry after school stuff. And I didn't know that at the time, but we just was real cool with her. Her name was Miss Simmons. And so we were practicing for the talent show. And so, you know, we in the middle of like doing our spiel. And then we hear this like knock on the door, like right in the middle of our stuff. And we like, the hell is this knocking on the door? Like we trying to, you know what I'm saying? So we stop the music, open the door. Co walks through the door with some Cheetos. She's like, open this door. Like, you know what I'm saying? We like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Open the door. So we in here practicing. And she's like, y'all rap or whatever? I was telling her, yeah, we rap. We did a group. She's like, well, let me see what y'all got. And I was like, all right, so I'm gonna have to go on and we're gonna have to show her, you know what I'm saying? So she walked through, she eating hot Cheetos. She spent lunch up there. I didn't know she spent lunch there, like lunch period. This was our first time ever like practicing there because the talent show was like a couple of days away. So we were just practicing really to tighten up. So she walks in and so she's like, yeah, let me hear y'all rap. So we put on the music, we rapping or whatever, we do our thing, we finish, right? And so, like, the whole time, she like giving me this look like, you really the only nigga with talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really the only nigga that can rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, all right. So she didn't really like show no emotion. She was like, all right, I guess that was all right or whatever. And then we was like, all right, you know, we was like, whatever. We got this talent show. You know what I'm saying? That's the group. Like, what we doing? So somehow we got like off on this tangent. Like, she does poetry and like she sings and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, since you know what I'm saying, we had to showcase something for you. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear something from you. And so she sung this poem that she wrote about her friend that committed suicide. And man, when she started singing, y'all, I swear for real, and this is gonna sound cliche as hell, but for real, it was like the angels they self was like making music. You know what I'm saying? I was just starstruck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had seen like a celebrity or something and could not talk. Like, that's how angelic her voice was. And it was so real. Like, the lyrics and shit was so real. Everything was so real. So I was like, okay. I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with it. I like it. I like it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really, when she got done, I really was like speechless. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this shit is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never had heard nothing like that. And so, you know, we was like, okay, cool. You know, we kind of didn't like, we didn't get each other number yet, but we was just like, okay, cool. We kind of knew of each other. And she was like, yeah, Miss Simmons does these poetry classes, you know, after school, you should come and we should, you know what I'm saying? You should come to it. I was like, all right, bet. So I'm at a track meet. I ain't gonna lie. You know, we left. I had her on my mind. Like I was like, okay, I got to meet her. I got to figure out like where else can I go? You know what I'm saying, to see her. And I remember she mentioned the poetry class. So I bet. So like a couple days passed by, and I'm like, all right, it's time for the poetry class after school, like the after school activity. And so I'm in a track meeting. I'm meeting with the track coach with all the track team. He briefing us on like what the season about to be like, going hard, doing all this, right? And I'm like, the whole time in there, I'm thinking, I need to get to this meeting. You know what I'm saying, for the poetry shit. So I was like, I'm finna go. So I told my boy, I was like, yo, I gotta go, man. I gotta, you know, I lied. I was like, yo, I gotta, you know, leave early. He like, I bet. He stayed like right around the corner from me. This is like my brother to this day. And he's like, all right, I'll see you at the crib or whatever. I'm like, all right, bet. So I ended up going up to the poetry meeting. Now, another dude that I used to rap with, he wasn't in the group, but like everybody knew of him, was in the poetry class too, because he did poetry too. And so when I walked up, I ain't see her yet. I ain't see Cole yet, but I seen him and I was like, oh, what's up? And he's like, oh man, what's good, man? I see you up in here, you know what I'm saying, about to do your thing. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm trying to, you know, get into this thing. And so the whole time I'm really just thinking like, where the fuck is she at? Like, some minutes had passed. I'm sitting in the back of the class. I'm like, I'm really only here for one thing. That's her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, where the fuck is she at? I'm trying to peep the scene. I'm trying to like, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting anxious at this moment. I'm like, damn, is she gonna show up? Did she set me up? Is, you know what I'm saying? So right when I'm like, I'm gonna leave because she ain't showed up, it's been maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. I maybe felt like it was longer than that, but it's maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. But in my head, it was like 30, 45. So I'm like, she needs to come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to hurry up and see what's up with her. And I'm like, I'm finna leave this hoe. Fuck it. Right as I'm like, I get up, and right as I get up, she like walked through the door. My ass trying to hide and shit, like trying to not smile. I'm cheesing hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, you know what I'm saying? Cheesing hard to the mug. Hard, okay? So we ended up doing that or whatever, and we ended up like, you know, being around each other and shit that day, and then some other days and shit. And so like maybe I think a couple days had passed, but I have been consistently not going to track and consistently going to the poetry meeting. Like, I've been skipping track at this point. I ain't even going to the season started. I ain't even going to none of the practices. I'm just showing up to the meets. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning, I was showing up to the meets. I didn't even do that shit that long, but so we started like, you know, talking to each other. You know, I'm like, I'm noticing she flirting with me and shit, but I'm like, you know, I guess back then I was so like shy and not really like a good reader of signals and stuff. So I was like, it's like I feel it, but I was like, I don't want to really press my luck, you know what I'm saying, and say some shit. And then she'd be like, nah, nigga, I got a boyfriend, or like, nah, I ain't really that into you or that. So I was like a big, very scared of rejection. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna like, you know, say nothing. I'm just gonna enjoy her company. And so like we talking, and then So like we flirting back and forth. And I thought it was weird, y'all, because like right when we first met, like right before we really like became boyfriend and girlfriend officially, I guess you could say, she was calling me her husband. So I thought it was weird. Like she would joke, but that would be her joke. Like she would go tell, oh yeah, it's my husband. Like I like, in high school, like, so I ain't think shit of it. Like whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was weird now, looking back. But yeah, she used to joke and be like, this your husband, I'm your husband, or this my husband, you know what I'm saying? So, I ain't think shit of it. So I was like, all right, whatever. So like I said, a couple days passed after that, we talking or whatever. I'm not catching the signal. So I finally like, before I get her number, she has to tell me like one day after school, like I usually like walk to the where she like go wherever she go, like to catch the bus or like walk home or whatever. She never walked home, but like her car, I used to just walk her to it because I used to walk home. So I'd be like, if I stayed up to school, I pretty much was on my own, but it was literally like a 20-minute walk to the house. So and through the neighborhood. So I knew it well. So it wasn't no big deal. But like on the way, like walking her this one time, she literally had to stop me, like, nigga, I'm flirting with you, right? Like she telling me I'm flirting with you. Like, what's up? Like, you don't see me? I'm like, yeah. So we ended up switching numbers that weekend. It was a weekend. It was a Friday. I remember we ended up switching numbers on Friday. And I was like, So Saturday come. I don't even think it was it might have been Friday night or Saturday. I know it was early. I'm over here thinking like, how can I start a conversation with her without like seeming thirsty? You know what I'm saying? Like without just, coming out. So I'm like, fuck it, I got it. So we had this big poetry. We was practicing for poetry because we had like a poetry slam. So we was gonna do, like a talent night, but we was gonna all do, like a poetry night. So we all knew the times and shit and all that. So that's what I lived with. I thought I was pulling a fast one over. I was like, I texted her, I was like, hey, yo, what time like the poetry shit start? Her ass texts me back, nigga, you knew what time it start. You just want to talk to me. I'm like, damn, she caught me, she got me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like, you know what I'm saying, start up a whole combo. And this instead of just saying, hey, what's up? My ass over here I'm overthinking it or whatever, So we talked all weekend, like, about life and shit and just like everything, all everything. Like we connected instantly. Like it was even no nothing about it. So I think that was like right. That was that was early November, and then we had Thanksgiving break. So my mom and dad are both from we both lived in Houston, but my mom and dad grew up in a little town called Shiner. So that's the country. So I would go there like every holiday. That's where my grandma stayed, all of that. It's like 3 hours east of Houston. So I knew where I was going, you know what I'm saying? So like, I text her over holiday break, let her know, I missed you and shit like that. And we came back and we was just still rocking. We wasn't even like really official yet, still rocking, still talking. Right. And so I think like another week passed. And then, damn, you know what? I don't even remember if it was before or after, but I remember vividly like that next weekend or weekend after that, where I was like, basically, I want to make you my girlfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, all right, well, cool. Well, if we gonna do this, like, you got to drop everybody you talking to, and then she like, I'll do the same stuff. And if we can do that, then we'll be exclusive. You know what I'm saying? We haven't talked for like, you can say like a month, but we hadn't really made it official. Like I'm talking to her every night and shit, but we not, we doing regular shit at high school, but we not like out to out yet. So I'm like, bet, all right. So, we did that over the weekend. And so that Monday, you know what I'm saying? Now we back, we live in effect or whatever, So that was like, I think that's the reason why our anniversary is the 14th. Like we got our marriage anniversaries when we got married, of course, but then we always do December 14th because that was the date that we actually like came out as official. You know what I'm saying? So, we talking, Christmas break happened, you know what I'm saying? And then, we bought each other gifts, we exchanged gifts. So we like in this thing now, you know what I'm saying? So everything after that was pretty much like, well, I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't tell y'all this other part, you know what I'm saying? So if I didn't tell you what? What you saying? See how she interrupted my stuff? What's up, Brittany? I'm on here telling us, my side of the story on how we met. But yeah, so like I said, it's like a month later or something like that. I'm making my girlfriend. We A1 now. You know what I'm saying? We really A1. And so that's pretty much about it. I mean, like I said, it was poetry class. I didn't take that long. We didn't take that long. We kind of knew what was up. You know what I'm saying? So we just did that. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, like we stayed together through high school. And then after high school, we kind of just like talked about marriage. I really didn't even like traditionally propose, like, the one knee, the, hey, will you marry me? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But we just kind of came to an agreement, almost, if you will. Like we just kind of both knew, I guess, at that point, like, we definitely see something in each other. Like we want to go ahead and, spend the rest of our lives. We didn't think what that meant at the time, but at that time, he's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? So we graduated in June, and then we got married in October, and then we moved in. We had to wait like 2 weeks because we was waiting on our apartment. But yeah, that's pretty much how we met. So the crazy thing is about all of this is we've been literally knowing each other our whole life, because she had an aunt that taught at my middle school, and we both went to the same middle school, and just never even knew, you know what I'm saying? Like never knew. She also was like supposed to graduate a year before me or 2 years before me, but she ended up dropping out because she was dealing with some shit. And so I would have never even met her had she not dropped out. So that's another crazy thing. Like when she came back to school to finish school, she was 19 and I was 17. So of course she was supposed to graduate at 18. So she was a year ahead of me. But again, so we would have never even met, but we went to the same middle school. Her aunt literally was my track coach in like middle school. And like, I had been knowing all of them, you know what I'm saying? Except for her grandma. Her grandma taught too, but her grandma always taught somewhere else. So I didn't, once I met her grandma, like we was already in, high school, but her aunt taught at the same middle school, like, was in the WNBA. So we all knew her, Coach Brumfield, we all knew her. So we didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think nothing of it. So Christmas Day come, or a little after Christmas, I think it was after the break, we decided to exchange gifts. And just like I'm wearing hats now, that was my shit. I always been wearing hats, snapbacks, like the dad hats, like the strap backs, like that's been my shit. Like I always been a big fan of hats. So she knew what was up. She brought me a hat. And so like this was right after Christmas break. We exchanged gifts. It was close to New Year's. And so like she came and I met her outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, she coming over to chill. Oh, no, she came over to just exchange. So I met her outside. And I met her outside, and I'm like, when I go to the car, I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? And I kind of like look in the car, and I'm like, I don't know why I didn't, because her name was Brumfield, but I don't know why I didn't like connect it to her, knew before. But like when I looked in the car, her aunt was in the car, my old coach, which I already knew, like I knew. So like, I was like, Coach Brumfield? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh, this is your niece? She was like, yeah. She's like, this is my niece. I was like, that shit crazy. So the more we got to talking, the more we really been like really knowing each other our whole life. We never separated. We really was connected like our whole life. We never was far apart. Like it don't matter where we was. Like if I was at one middle school, she was like at another, or we was like in the same place, or we were always around each other. As a matter of fact, I started out at a certain high school called Elsick in Houston. So I started there. I went there freshman and ninth grade year. She did too. It's just that she ended up moving. And so again, it's like we've been to the same middle school. Now we about to start the same high school. So she went there for like a week, but then she ended up moving and going to a different high school on the north side. And that was the southwest side at the time. So yeah, that was probably like maybe the one time in our lives where we was like super far, but I always knew her aunt. Like I always knew her aunt, because she was my track coach. So it was just weird looking back that God for real kept us like in the same vicinity. Like we never drifted apart from each other. Always was like connected in some way until we finally like met in high school, like senior year. It's just crazy. Every time I think about that, I'm like, it's crazy that I literally been around her my whole life. Went to the same middle school and didn't even know this girl existed, and vice versa. Because I was a square ass nigga in middle school. Like I rapped then, but I didn't really start getting good until high school. So then when high school came around, that's when I really started to be like, I wouldn't say popular, but I started to come out of my shell. So I knew a lot more people because a lot of people knew that I was just the nigga that rapped. They was like, this Trey that rap. Everybody used to say that, like, that's Trey that rap. So in middle school, I wasn't doing it as much. You know what I'm saying? And she's always been, y'all watch us and y'all watch her. You know, she got like a captivating like personality. So she was popular, but not like the typical popular. Everybody knew her because she was just cool as fuck. She was real as fuck. You know what I'm saying? She was always A1. She was fighting and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew her because that was just Coco. Everybody knew Coco. Like, and I didn't, you know, at that time. So even when we got into high school, I still didn't even meet her till November. High school, you know, school started in August. So I still did from August up to November at the same high school and still didn't notice her except for one time I heard her like getting to it with somebody. And I was like, damn, who is that? Like, I ain't see her, but I heard her. You know, you be at the lunch and shit and fight pop off. Niggas be like, you know what I'm saying? Looking around like, ooh, finna, you know what I'm saying? Get work today. And I heard her. I just heard her, like her voice, but I ain't think nothing of it. Because again, I didn't know who she was, but I just like, who is that? So then like now after we fast forward and we got together, you know, in high school, then we start connecting the dots. We start going back and being like, oh shit, like, yeah, I remember you in school. Like, yeah, I remember this. And yeah, you know, we was always around the same people or always knew somebody who knew her or knew us or was connected. So after we got married, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that we knew from high school, everybody was like, we knew some of the same people, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, damn, how y'all end up knowing each other? Like, well, how y'all did not know each other? Because, you know, so it was just weird. A lot of people, you know, after we got married was like, all of our friends that we knew from high school or from like the West or like from the hood, we knew because we was, you know what I'm saying? We was always around each other. So it was crazy though. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So that's just pretty much like the story on how we met, you know what I'm saying? The real true events, the facts, you know what I'm saying? She gonna get on here tomorrow because she gonna tell her side tomorrow of what really happened. But everybody but your finance. But yeah, so that's the story, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. That's how we did it. And, you know, I think it couldn't have been a more crazier story because, like I said, we always have been connected. We always was like around each other and, you know, in some form or fashion, like we was just there, like even in spirit, you can almost say. So I guess we kind of walked that thing on out and, you know, 10 years later, we still going strong. You know what I'm saying? 11 years later, yeah, because we 11 all together because you got to count the year for the high school. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all tune in tomorrow. I don't know what time she going to come on here, but y'all tune in tomorrow. If y'all missed it, I seen some of y'all said y'all missed it. Go back to the beginning. I ain't trying to make it too long, but yeah, that's how we met. Story time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Well, I like y'all. She says she'll be here at 9 p.m., 9 o'clock. I think that's Mountain Standard Time, or you gonna go 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So 9 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, and I guess the Central Time. So 9 o'clock our time, Mountain Standard Time. So that's like 11 for the East Coast people. For the South, some of the South, that's like 10 o'clock, and then for my Pacific people and my people in the West. That's was to at 7 o'clock. So around them times, y'all tune in. She said she's gonna have it ready for y'all. So peace. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be easy. Be nice to each other. Hey, y'all stay out of that shit. Don't get that Rona. But I fuck with y'all. Peace.